Universal Religion, its Realization, Part 2. Only one religion of the world, an ancient great religion, has dwindled away, and that is the religion of the Zoroastrianism, the religion of the ancient Persians. Under the Mohammedans' conquest of Persia, about 100,000 of these people came and took shelter in India, and some remained in ancient Persia. Those that were in Persia under the constant persecution of the Mohammedans dwindled down till there are at most only 10,000. In India, there are about 80,000 of them, but they do not increase. Of course, there is an initial difficulty. They do not convert themselves to other religion. And then this handful of persons living in India with the pernicious custom of cousin marriage do not multiply. With this single exception, all the great religions are living, spreading, and increasing. We must remember that all the great religions of the world are very ancient. Not one has been formed at the present time, and that every religion of the world owes its origin to the country between the Ganga and the Euphrates. Not one great religion has arisen in Europe, not one in America, not one. Every religion is of Asiatic origin and belongs to that part of the world. If what the modern scientists say is true, that the survival of the fittest is the test, these religions prove by their still living that they are yet fit for some people. There is a reason why they should live, they bring good to many. Look at the Mohammedans, how they are spreading in some places in southern Asia and spreading like fire in Africa. The Buddhists are spreading all over Central Asia all the time. The Hindus, like the Jews, do not convert others. Still, gradually, other races are coming within Hinduism and adopting the manners and customs of the Hindus and falling into line with them. Christianity, you all know, is spreading, though I am not sure that the results are equal to the energy put forth. The Christians' attempt at propaganda, one has tremendous defect, and that is the defect of all Western institutions. The machine consumes 90% of the energy, there is too much machinery. Preaching has always been the business of the Asiatics. The Western people are grand in organization, social institutions, armies, governments, etc. But when it comes to preaching religion, they cannot come near the Asiatic, whose business it has been all the time, and he knows it, and he does not use too much machinery. This then is a fact or in the present history of the human race that all these great religions exist and are spreading and multiplying. Now, there is a meaning certainly to this, and had it not been the will of an all wise and all merciful Creator that one of these religions should exist and the rest should die, it would have become a fact long, long ago. If it were a fact that only one of these religions is true and all the rest are false, by this time it would have covered the whole ground. But this is not so, not one has gained all the ground. All religions sometimes advance, sometimes decline. Now just think of this. In your own country, there are more than 60 millions of people and only 21 millions professing religions of all sorts. So it is not always progress. In every country, probably, if the statistics are taken, you could find that religions are sometimes progressing and sometimes going back. Sections are multiplying all the time. If the claims of a religion that it has all the truth and God has given it all this truth in a certain book were true, why are there so many sections? 50 years do not pass before there are 20 sections founded upon the same book. If God has put all the truth in certain books, He does not give us those books in order that we may quarrel over texts. That seems to be the fact. Why is it? Even if a book were given by God which contained all the truth about religion, it would not serve the purpose because nobody could understand the book. Take the Bible, for instance, and all the sections that exist amongst Christians. Each one puts its own interpretation upon the same text, and each says that it alone understands that text and all the rest are wrong. So, with every religion, there are many sections amongst the Mohammedans and amongst the Buddhists, and hundreds amongst the Hindus. Now, I bring these facts before you in order to show you that any attempt to bring all humanity to one method of thinking in spiritual things has been a failure and always will be a failure. Every man that starts a theory, even at the present day, finds that if he goes 20 miles away from his followers, they will make 20 sections. You see that happening all the time. You cannot make all conform to the same ideas, that is the fact. And I thank God that it is so. I am not against any sections. I am glad that sections exist. And I only wish they go on multiplying more and more. Why? Simply because of this. If you and I and all who are present here were to think exactly the same thoughts, there would be no thoughts for us to think. We know that two or more forces must come into collision in order to produce motion. It is a clash of thought, the differentiation of thought, that awakens thought. Now, if we all thought alike, we would be like Egyptian mummies in a museum looking vacantly at another's faces, no more than that. Whirls and eddies occur only in a rushing living stream. There are no whirlpools in stagnant dead water. When religions are dead, there will be no more sections. It will be a perfect peace and harmony of the grave. But so long as mankind thinks, there will be sections. Variation is a sign of life and it must be there. I pray that they may multiply so that at last there will be as many sections as human beings, and each one will have its own methods, his individual method of thought and religion.